Crystal clear. Call Pane and the Glass Window Cleaning. You can find them on Facebook at Pane and the Glass.
Powerful, epic music by Toothbox Roll. Life-changing lyrics come in every style, empowering humanity to finally unlock the chains of bondage. Experience the edgy side of positive music and rock your world today. From Primal to Divine, available now at sassyalternativemusic.com.
Hey, man, it's at the bottom of the hour, man. Do you know where your kids are, man?
Forces of darkness, the treasonable alliance who collaborate must, can, and will be wiped from the face of the earth.
So now everybody's upset over what Donald Trump might have said, probably said, somebody said he said, who knows what he said, we don't know, we're just having secondhand information. And even if he said something about Haiti and Africa, he's allowed to have his own opinion and allowed to say things. I mean, we do have a First Amendment that allows us to say what we want, speak our opinion. If we don't have that right, somebody please tell me, because that's going to jeopardize my career path here, you know? If I can't speak the way I want. And what's the big deal if he says that Haiti and Africa are holes, you know? Can you argue with him? Or are you just mad because he said it? See, that's what I'm thinking this is all about. People are just mad because, you know, he said something that he thought was truthful, and it got people all riled up, and that becomes headlines, and that seems to be a common theme in the mainstream media, is they now are reporting on things he says here and there. They're just trying to point out that this guy's this thing and he's that thing, and just because a person makes a statement about a country or two or a continent doesn't make it racist by any means. Because I could say, oh, let's see, how about Francis turning into a, S-hole? That's the big deal. You know, he says that, and then you get everybody in the mainstream media think they can use that word now. It's funny, I used it last week, and I bleeped myself out a few times out of sheer humor. I just wanted to add a little levity to the show. And, boy, we get a week of it after that. Trump supposedly says it, maybe says it, I don't know who says it. See, this is, again, does it matter? Why does it matter that he thinks that these two places are that? Are we not allowed to say these things anymore? And because it's about immigration, and maybe he doesn't feel bringing in more people from those countries are beneficial to our country. He has the right to have that opinion. And he is the president, so, he has some level of say-so. Yet because somebody got offended over it, and this isn't really disparaging towards the little person in Haiti or the little person in some tribe in Africa. It's pretty much a condemnation of the governments that run those countries, if there is even a government. And if they don't have, in certain parts of Africa, they don't have, solidified governments that are in place that have a political structure to it. It's warlords or whatever. Well, those parts of Africa, I would say, are maybe not the glowing, shining example of African genius and beauty. So maybe that's where he was pointing his reference to places like Sudan. I mean, we're not in these meetings, right, ladies and gentlemen? And if he's just throws out the random expletive, and you can point that out to the public, hey, Trump said this during the meeting, and of course it can be taken out of context, because they love taking things out of context. Sometimes I think it's the job of the media to take things out of context so they can manufacture that news that they produce each and every night for you to consume, for you to digest, so you can have those little seeds planted in your brain that certain people are certain ways, even though there's very little evidence, and if there is evidence, it's manufactured evidence. That's, it's where we're at. And I fear that we're not going to wake enough people up. And in fact, I've almost given up on the hope that the American people are going to wake up and figure out that it's just a big game that's being played. They're little pawns in the entire thing. And when it's your turn to be taken off the board, that's it. And they pin us against each other. Speaking of diversity, they found every way to segregate us. And for the most part, we've found ways to segregate ourselves so that we have a diametrically opposed position from another group, another segment of the population. Segmented segment. That's a real small segment. That's like everybody inside the LGBT community. I mean, there's so many letters to that now. Hopefully I got them all right. But that's a segmented group. They have their own little segments inside their little segmented group. That's where they've placed us all. They've tricked us all into doing that. And instead of us looking at the common reasons why we're a country. So when Donald Trump says something and they expect you to eat it up and then to go out and be mad about it, just realize that they're doing this on purpose. And they give you these little snapshots, they being the media, specific segments of certain political parties that want to shine light, want to become relevant or stay relevant. See, a lot of this goes back to Oprah. She's now, she does the movie, she gets the little award there, she does her speech, because this is all to set up her presidential run. She wants to make herself relevant again. And the way you do that is you start getting out in the world a little bit more, and you start doing things to put you in that position. A lot of people think Oprah's a great person. I see her as somebody who twisted people's emotions, who got them to cry on her show just so she could get ratings. Then she could make money from those ratings. Maybe it was a great idea. For television, it was great. You know how many people love Oprah Winfrey? And what they didn't know is they fell for a mass hypnotic trance that she had propagated on everybody watching her. She used the power of emotions to tap deep into your subconscious to make you think that she is some wonderful, special person who is there for people. almost diametrically opposite of how they are portraying Donald Trump. And I'm speaking about the mainstream media. See, this is all being set up. See, Oprah is not Hillary Clinton. Oprah doesn't have the baggage Hillary Clinton had. And wouldn't the Democrat Party like to? In fact, they would love to be the party to say, hey, we selected the first female president. They love those firsts. Doesn't matter if they're qualified. We saw that with Obama. I mean, the guy was he was an organizer is all he was. A community organizer. And because he was good at being a community organizer and he was very calculated in his speech, and people wrote great speeches for him, you buy some good speechwriters, you're all set, folks. Able to get where he went. And now he's, that's funny, Trump has to cancel his trip because preceding Trump everywhere seems to be Obama. It's the strangest thing ever, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you've paid attention to this. This is just a sub-story that I've been watching. But everywhere Trump is planning on going, Obama precedes him. He's in front of him. A couple weeks, a month, whatever. It's a very, very interesting development. It's hard to tell what he's doing there. You get a public appearance, but you don't know what they talk about behind closed doors. And I know I kind of went off topic a little bit there, folks. We're up against a break here, so I didn't want to go too deep into anything else before we, have to pay the bills. Don't forget to go to our website. That's www.jlebang.com. We have a link there called Show Prep. You can click on that link and find out about the subjects we're reading about, we're discussing here on the show. Maybe you'll have a different perspective from what you're used to in the mainstream media. We leave those links up there for a long time, and in fact, a lot of them have been up there for years because those links are very important. And so we don't want people to forget that those articles were published, because people tend to have a 4 or 5, maybe 6 minute interest span before their mind has to go somewhere else. Anyways, folks, break time now. 4th segment coming your way. Please stay tuned.
Where do you think you're going?
The John LeBang Show will be right back.
So grab a beer and a smoke and sit your butt back down. Stay right here.
If you are elderly, disabled, receiving SSI or Medicaid, and you have a medical need or require assistance with daily housework, shopping, grooming, medication, you may qualify for housekeeping at no cost. Call now. VIP Home Healthcare, 248-579-3805. VIP Home Healthcare, there when you need them. That's 248-579-3805.
If you want to contact the John LeBang Show, feel free to send an email to jlebang@live.com. And if you're on Twitter, look him up at John LeBang. And don't forget to go to his Facebook page at The John LeBang Show. Now here's John.
So a family in Texas who was trying to avoid the evil flu bug this year vaccinated their child, and that poor child suffered a major reaction. Apparently was hallucinating, trying to run off, just some crazy stuff. 6-year-old kid. And all the parents were trying to do were trying to keep their kids safe from this year's extremely bad influenza attack. In fact, it is so bad, it's affecting people here in Detroit. Federal authorities say 20 children have died from this influenza attack, and 7% of the senior deaths that last month are blamed on this year's virulent strain. Now, all of that prompted Metro